Hey there, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith with an update on what's happening with Tropical Storm Rafael. Getting a little better organized here this evening in the Northwest Caribbean Sea, and it's tracking towards the Cayman Islands, through the Cayman Islands right now, and moving towards Cuba. We think it could end up in the Gulf of Mexico as a hurricane. It's likely going to be a Category 1 or 2 hurricane as it crosses into the Gulf. And then after that, it should get weaker when it gets into the northern Gulf for a number of reasons. We want to take a look at some of those variables. First of all, I'll pull up our computer system here, and there we go. We'll just go ahead and bring it up full. How about that? All right, 70 mile per hour tropical storm right now, Rafael. We'll start out with the loop on it here so you can kind of see what's going on with the mechanics of it. It has been getting a little better organized today as the winds are now up to 70 and the center of circulation also better defined. So with that inner core, it's likely going to jump up to hurricane strength as we go through the evening hours tonight. Now, what will the impacts be here? Well, it's still too far out to tell if we'll get any rain out of this or not. We're not overly concerned about it. We've had rough surf and rip currents at our beaches for about a week straight, and that's going to continue, but it may be enhanced. In fact, that's a likely scenario that we're going to see dangerous rip currents through the weekend. The rain chances, will they increase this weekend? Still a lot of uncertainties. It depends on the forecast track, and we can't say for sure whether we're actually going to see anything out of this or not. Rafael should be a lot weaker once it gets to the northern Gulf. It is a 70 mile per hour tropical storm, and it is moving on off to the northwest at 15, pressure 987. The pressure's fallen again with the most recent update, and so that's likely a sign that it's going to make that jump to hurricane strength, possibly at the 9 o'clock advisory. And the official track, you can see it is a very certain track, and then the cone gets really wide, and it could be coming ashore somewhere between Texas and the Mobile area, maybe even the Florida Panhandle. Louisiana seems like the most likely scenario at this point. But will it even be a tropical storm then? The official track for the National Hurricane Center has it as a 45 mile per hour tropical system on Sunday, and it's going to fall apart very rapidly. And here's a look at what the GFS model does with it. It actually has it crossing Cuba around 5 o'clock tomorrow and then emerging out into the Gulf of Mexico on Thursday and Friday. The ridge builds in a little stronger. That'll force it westerly. Still could be a hurricane on Friday, but it's going to be weakening quickly, and once it gets a little further to the north, we expect it to begin to lose its steam. We'll possibly see some rain here. It is showing up on the futurecast with this version of it, the GFS, that we might get some enhanced showers and some tropical rain bands in our area on Sunday, but it will be a fast demise to this thing. And look at the models. All right, through Friday morning, as that ridge begins to build in, the strength of the ridge, the strength of the system, a lot of variables, and after Friday, they all start going different directions. Some bring it to the Panhandle, some Mobile, some Mississippi, some Louisiana, others towards Texas. It's way too far out to know for sure what will happen. A more westerly course would actually be to an advantage for us because it may rip the thing apart altogether. There's a lot of shear in the northwest Gulf, and it's a very hostile environment. That rips the tops off the clouds. It'll be driving dry air that you see on the water vapor loop over the Gulf and into Texas, into the core of the system, likely causing it to weaken. The water temperatures are somewhat favorable for some intensification. Once it gets to the middle of the Gulf, though, that starts to fall off. You can see that buoy 42,001 in the center of your screen at 81 degrees. 80 degrees is enough to sustain a tropical system. 82 can really promote a tropical system. And then the water temperatures fall off into the upper 70s, not nearly the oceanic heat content in the northern Gulf that we had in August and September. Also, wind shear. Yeah, you see all that red and orange stuff and even the green stuff and a little bit of the blue. That is all wind shear, and it is really high over the northern Gulf. And so if this was a tropical system heading our way, we would expect it to be getting sheared apart, meaning the top part of the storm would get decoupled from the center and it would be weakening quickly with this kind of upper level environment. Here's your extended forecast. We have not really put in any major impacts from Rafael here on the 7-day. It is a wait and see thing. We don't expect any major impacts, but we might see a little extra rain this weekend and rough surf from a weakening tropical system. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we're seeing here with Rafael, and what are you going to expect here on the Gulf Stream coming up in a little bit here. We're going to start having regular updates. We'll have some weather sprinkled in too. We'll look at radar. We're also going to be looking at what's happening with Rafael. And we'll have full election coverage coming up here on our Fox 10 Gulf Stream. So I'm going to get off of this right now so we can set up for the election coverage. And we'll have more to come here on the Fox 10 Gulf Stream and on our social platforms.